So let's talk about meditation. So have you always meditated? Like, how did you get into it?
I didn't always meditate. My experience with that, in a weird way, I kind of was, but I wouldn't really consider it that. So one thing that I like to say or tell people with that is that throughout my day, I'll try and take moments. Not necessarily that I'm having a stressful day, but like if I feel like a buildup of like energy or like anxiety or something like that, I'll do like a 12-second breathing exercise where I'm just like, I literally just like, once I catch myself in that like, frantic mode or whatever, like if I could catch myself, I'll be like, okay, just take a moment and just breathe, just relax for like 12 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, and then like go about my day. So in the traditional sense of like meditation, it's like I'm not like sitting in like a quiet room. Like I've never, like prior to doing sound baths and stuff like that, I wasn't always doing that. Where I'm just like sitting in a room, sitting still and sitting quiet. Like that was tougher for me to do. But I do it more now. Like it's kind of like been this transition of going to that space.
Yeah, it's part of your life now.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's like therapy for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really think about it anymore. But yeah, it took a while to get there for sure.
Yeah, but for us that don't know, what exactly, in your own words, what is definition of meditation?
I think that's a good question. I think it's gonna be different for everyone. Like I think I could technically say that 12-second whatever is a meditation because it's like I'm taking a moment to recognize the present moment and I'm focusing on my breathing for that short amount of time. Like that could be that is a meditation. You know what I mean? So for other people, it could be different. Like, I don't know, for you or for you guys, what?
I didn't even know what like we were talking about it before. I was like, I don't even know what it is. Like, is it like? Then we came to a conclusion. Is it just a state of mind or a state of emotion that you get out of doing something? So like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not like. Does meditation equal to someone sitting on the floor, cross-legged, in a straight posture with their hands?
Right.
That's what I picture. Right.
Yeah,
Meditation.
yeah.
It's like I picture like Buddhism. Like a monk being at peace, like sitting like with like the gongs going, but like is it wrong? Is there a wrong way of doing meditation? But if you get the same outcome,
Right, I see.
yeah. So like if you still get the same peace of mind from it, or like I don't even know what it is. Like, are you trying during meditation? What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah, it's the intention, right?
Okay,
So I think it's not. Yeah, you know, and I'm actually kind of glad that you brought that up because it's like. Yeah, when a lot of people, when they think of meditation, they think of like the stereotypical imagery that comes with it. And it's like, like that's not me, and like I don't really.
Yeah.
Right.
So with what I try to do with SoundBathNorth is kind of like break that mold. Like I don't walk around and like
roll.
Like that. I love that exists, and like there are people out there that that's what they do, right?
Right.
But for me, like I'm just the everyday kind of whatever, but I also meditate and I also, find calmness, stillness in doing those things.
Yeah.
So,
You're like the modern day meditator.
yeah. But I think that it's, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that it's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a certain type of person to get into meditation. It's like you could literally be anybody and do it.
So what are your guys' thoughts of like meditation? What do you seek to achieve, or do you achieve something, or is it something that you just want to slow your life down, like Brian does a little bit, or do you get rid of anxiety, stress? Like, why do you guys turn to that?
For me, for meditation, what it is like when I have a strong feeling attached to something. Let's say if it's something like that gives me anxiety, or something that's like coming up that I have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
When I know it's in a powerful emotion, what I like to do is like to breathe, and then try to not attach an emotion to it. Assess what's happening, but take away that emotion, that anxiety, that fear, or even happiness, right? And just look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
And then doing that usually takes away that anxiety from that situation or whatnot, right? So it's also like just kind of just like, okay, step back for a second and just breathe.
Yeah.
Right?
Just slow down.
Just slow down a little bit. Yeah. That's what it is for me, right?
Yeah.
So when I was doing it, I would always try to schedule it in where it'd be like, okay, first thing you do when you wake up, I set a timer for like 5 to 10 minutes and just breathe, right? But I found doing that, it kind of takes away from like me wanting to do it, right?
Yeah,
so
it feels like a chore.
it kind of does feel like a chore, right? And then it loses like it's like my passion for it. Where I
The
think
purpose what you're getting into,
Right.
Like you're scheduling in. It's like, oh damn, I have to do this.
Exactly.
So like your mind's
You're
not even
putting the
there
pressure
already.
on
Yeah.
yourself
Right.
to do it.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I know that really works for some people.
Yeah.
Right. But I like Brian's approach to it where it's just like, okay, like I'm feeling something, take like 12 seconds or a minute and just breathe. Right. And I find that helps me calm my mind a lot better than just having a scheduled time to
Yeah,
do this.
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Chu? What?
I think meditation for me, one of the everything Jay said, I feel that on the same like part of the same level. He explained it really well, so I have nothing to add to that. But definitely that's like one of the things. But I think for me, the thing that trumps that is self-awareness.
Yeah.
So I like to do it to be aware of myself and like the effects I'm having on maybe other people, or like why do I think the way I do and stuff like that. You know, like I want to like hit a certain event, a certain situation at all different angles, and not necessarily see what from right or wrong, but just seeing how other people could perceive it. You know, and not just the way I see things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like we all have like times where we're all ignorant. You know, we're
Of
not
course,
aware of everything, but we feel very strongly like we have some sort of conviction to our instinct.
Right.
Right. So I want to kind of get rid of that barrier
Right.
and kind of like see things differently.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily act on it or anything. I can't say it really changed me as a person, but I'm more aware of my thought process.
Right.
So I feel like that's one of the top things for me for meditation.
You know what really helps me to, let's say, like what you just said about like seeing someone else's perspective, right? It's getting high. Get high and just kind of zone out and I just think about things and just like, okay, like
Yeah.
how are they thinking about this?
Yeah.
Or, like, was I right? Was I wrong? Like, you know?
But see,
Helps me.
and that's great too, right? But I think me naturally, it's just so weird because I've done way more drugs than you. But the thing
Yeah.
is, but the reason why I don't like to do that because I feel like it's a chemical reaction.
You're right. You're right.
It's a chemical reaction that I induced on myself. I really can't trust it that much. I rather do
Makes
it
sense.
naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I know like this is natural. This is real.
Right.
Whereas with drugs, it's like sure I can be insightful and like like see all these things, but I'm like, is that really like true though? Type of thing. Like
But if the end result is like it's positive,
yeah.
Right?
Hey, all for it, man.
and by the way, I'm talking about weed.
I mean, all for it, man. Sure, right?
But no, I totally agree. Yeah, it's you need that to bring that out, and that's
Yeah.
is that real? Is that genuine?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel you.
I think it does come down to your intention. Like, what intentions do you want to set? Right? It's like, and it's your self-awareness plays into your kind of problem solving, and like you're just taking a moment to step back from your autopilot.
Yeah.
You're just like, all right, let me just switch gears for a second. Like, what is really? Let me break this down. The situation, or this stress, this anxiety that I'm facing right now. Like, what is behind it? Because there's usually a root.
Right.
There's something that's causing that.
Right.
So you're just trying to figure out what that thing is.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So it's crazy because like I never knew. I didn't think. I could be wrong, but like I didn't think like meditation. I was meditating, but I think. All right, so when I was even from younger till like recent, I was always the one that if there was an issue in my head, I would run away from it. So like I'd rather just keep myself busy, go out, like work on something. I like didn't really think of the problem, right?
Yeah.
So like the first time, like I went away and I came back, and then people was like, "Oh, you're different," right? And then I was like, "Oh, like in what sense?" But now I think back to it, is it because I was away and alone? I didn't have like friends or stuff or work to keep me busy, so it forced myself to live with those thoughts and be alone with those thoughts and like talk to it and then see it, and then like I was able to like process like, oh, like should I have taken this situation like this? Should I have done this? And then like, and then it gave me more answers because you're just living with your thoughts. You have no one to talk to. Texting wasn't a thing back then, so like it gave me a moment to like reflect on myself. So a lot of times when I go away on vacation, like I'm disconnected with everybody, so I can't like be like, oh, I don't want to have this feeling. I'm just gonna go with my friends and get fucked up, like drink or whatever. But then But then the more I think about it, like, is it like I went away, I was alone, and then be like, all right, I'm just gonna like sit, and then like most of the time, like I'm not cross-legged or like meditating. I'm like my feet are up, I'm just sitting down, and I'll just be like listening to music or whatever. But then it's slowly like my mind just drifts off, and like it's just back. I don't even hear the music anymore. It's just
So
my own.
So
thought.
basically, what you went through, what you're explaining is, I like to call subconscious meditating.
So is that still like meditation then?
Yeah, of
I would
course.
say so, yeah.
Yeah, because you're not forcing it. It's just happening to you. And it's almost like your soul is telling you you need this moment to yourself. And you're just forced into this circumstance where you need to do that. You know, so that's what I would categorize it at.
And just to add to that, I would say, so there's that, as Chu was sort of pointing out, and then there's like another element of where you're so in that scenario, you're kind of like actively problem solving, right? And deconstructing and reflecting. But there's another portion of meditation where you're surrendering. Where you're just like, you're not judging anything. It's just like whatever comes up is going to come up, and you're just kind of like observing those thoughts and those things. You're not really trying
actually
to
like
anything.
tackle.
You're just like, let me just sit here and like, all right, like this thought popped in my mind. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And then this emotion comes up. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. Right.
And you're kind of just, you're not attaching any judgment to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just crazy. It just like when we're talking, everything just flashes in my head. So like, I'd be like hiking, then I'd go up to like this place that's high. Like I was in China, and like we went to this high altitude place, and I got to the top, and then it was like, it's like, oh, do you know that like take a deep breath, take everything in? It's like, and so I did that, but then now I can have flashbacks of every time I did that in different places, and I'll get like I can smell it. So like it's like, is that some sort of like is it little enlightenments in life that you just like, because then like thoughts just keep like random thoughts just come, right? You don't like actively seek it, but then you start thinking of it. I don't know, it's just weird. So at the end of this, there's no right or wrong way of meditating then?
No, it's just your end result, man. Whatever you get.
Yeah, I think going back, it just comes down to intention and just being aware of that. What are you trying to